Hey guys, this is Noodle here with an episode of Shells. This is a series where I go into the attachments of vehicles, how to equip them, how to configure them, and how to effectively use them tactically so that you have the best success with every vehicle loadout that you try. Today we're reviewing a new shell for Battlefield 4. It's called the Staff Shell. What it is an airburst shell that when fired from your tank actually flies a little bit on the inertia from the actual barrel of the tank. Then a mini rocket motor clicks into the thing and it actually rockets towards whatever target you're shooting at and airbursts above the target, causing roughly 25 damage to tanks. The staff shell is equipped in your secondary weapon setup and is the last secondary weapon to be unlocked. After learning to use the staff shell, it is abundantly clear what the staff shell was added to the game for. It is definitely clear that DICE added the staff shell to Battlefield 4, to the tanks, to be used at extreme long distances. When I started using it, I was trying to figure out, okay, is this for taking out infantry, or is it for taking out vehicles? So I went to the weapons description page on the battle log, and it says it is a 120mm shell with a smart warhead that will identify enemy targets and explode above them for a critical hit. That left me wondering. So I went out and tested it out, and I was rather unsuccessful in getting it to take out enemy infantry without a direct hit. For taking out tanks, LAVs, and just jeeps at long distances, it was absolutely awesome success. So after figuring out that the staff shell was strictly a long distance shell, I took it into battle and tried it out. At first I went into some close quarters, kind of just how I would normally play a tank, just trying to cap flags and just fight against infantry, and it was rather frustrating, I would say the least. Due to the fact that you're losing your coaxial HMG or coaxial LMG, it's pretty hard to take on infantry targets because of the reload of the tank cannon. So instead of being able to hit a tank or a target with your main cannon and then be able to quickly switch over to a light machine gun or heavy machine gun and hit any infantry that may be in the area, you can no longer do that because with the staff shell installed as your secondary weapon, you have to wait for the cannon to reload with the staff shell in order to be able to use it. In a lot of situations when I ran into this problem where I had an infantry kind of pestering me or I had a vehicle that I just destroyed and a guy jumped out, I would actually hit the F2 button, switch over to the gunner's seat and hit him with the 50 cal machine gun, which is the turret gunner, and then switch back to the driver's seat and continue on in the tank. That being said, I always suggest that you tailor the loadout of your tank so you're more prepared to fight the long distance battle. What I did actually was I switched out the HE shell for the Sabot shell for my main cannon because the Sabot shell travels quite a bit quicker, and it does close to the same amount of damage. I also switched the reactive armor out for the autoloader because I wouldn't be obtaining so much damage quickly because I'm farther away from the enemy. So I figured I could get away if I actually did get hit. So the autoloader would help me put more rounds downrange quicker. When considering the staff shell, you should also consider map selection. I personally would not use this shell on any other map but Gold Mode Railway at this point. All the other maps with tanks such as Zavid 311 or Siege of Shanghai just have too many close quarter situations where you would be at a disadvantage when many infantry got around you, or you wouldn't be able to maneuver your tank quick enough to get away from them. When firing the staff shell, it is important to elevate the shell just above the vehicle you're shooting at. It travels in a straight line due to the fact that the rocket motor on the shell makes it travel on a straight plane. So lift your cannon up just above the vehicle you're shooting at and fire the shell. That way you can make sure that the airburst function on the shell operates properly to get the most damage. When selecting targets to shoot the staff shell at, it is important to select targets that are either stopped or moving slowly. Targets that are moving quickly are quite a bit harder to hit due to the fact that you have to judge the time it will take the shell to fire and get to the target, and for the target to move to that point. It is doable, but it is quite a bit harder and will take quite a bit more practice to obtain that kind of skill. I personally just tried to choose targets that were sitting still, but I was able to hit a few targets that were on the move, which is pretty gratifying, honestly. And I think the biggest advantage of the staff shell is you can actually hit targets that go behind banks. You can hit targets that kind of slip behind a little wall or behind an embankment, and you do them damage and really don't know what's going on. I had many players ask me, what kind of shell is that? Because most players, the game is pretty new right now, so most people don't have it unlocked to understand what it does. Because they would go behind something and I'd actually hit them 2 or 3 times and kill them from what would seem to be like a spot where only a player using some kind of aimbot could hit you. But no, in all reality, you're just using an airburst shell that hits them. So in closing, this is a great shell for long-distance vehicle combat. I think somebody who takes the time and learns the vehicle trajectories could really make good use of this shell for taking out tanks at longer distances. I'd like to thank you all for watching this video. My name is Noodle. Until next time, use your noodle. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I got diced. Oh, come on.